Welcome back. Today we got another project here. Um, the boiler just went on stop here. Um, it fires but not for very long, so we'll have a look and take it apart. Generally speaking, there are three options. Oil, the oil tank is empty, but it's not because it's full. The light sensor can be dirty, but it's not. It's good. That's the light sensor. And if that's not seeing the flame, it goes on stop because it thinks there is a problem. The second one is, or the third one, is actually nozzle dirty, or the throw plate which mixes the air is dirty. There is another option, especially on older ones. There is a plastic clutch type thingy in the oil pump, but the oil pump is warm, so it's running, which wears out, so the motor spins, but the pump doesn't pump and you don't get oil. So let's take that thing out and have a look what's wrong with it. So before you take the burner out, make sure the power is off. If you can't take the power, turn the power off, take the control unit out. Pretty simple. You just need a screwdriver and could pull it out. So just pull that one and that one. A bit difficult with one hand. So yeah, put a screwdriver underneath and lift the latch, and then you can take it out. So now it can't start. It can't start when you messing around with it. Ideally, you turn the power off, but the battery on the timer is flat, or there's a rechargeable battery and it's actually dead. So if I turn the power off, I need to set the time again. So there is one screw here, there's one screw here, and it's a Thermicon. Yeah, there's one screw here, one screw here. Open those screws, take the burner out and have a look. You might need to remove that hose clip, because there is an air hose coming from the outside. Maybe it's just dust and dirt in it. We'll see. So that's the throw plate and the nozzle here. The thing in the center is the nozzle. It doesn't look too bad. It can be a dirty nozzle, because there is oil on the nozzle, so we can see it's actually, there is oil coming, and sometimes it's firing, but it's not all the time. So let's take the flame tube out. Turn it around here. There are two set screws, one is here and one is here. If you take them out, I think you can take the flame tube out. I never worked on one of these, but there is no rocket science in it. They're all the same, sort of. So let's take it out and have a look. So I put you on the tripod. So we got the grub screws out, and then you just take the flame tube out here, and that's how it looks inside. There's nothing special in it. When you reassemble it, make sure you're with this cut out, you're clear with the ignition pins here. As far as I can see, it just needs a clean. Eventually a new nozzle. We have some, so that's not a problem. If this throw plate is dirty, the light sensor may not see the light, so that's another problem. So just take a wire brush and brush it clean, and that's about it. These things are always happening if you don't have the time for it, nor having. Just go in. I know it's a bit dark here. There's not much I can do right now. So just make sure there's no dirt left in this. Don't bend it. Don't bend that throttle plate, because otherwise the whole characteristics of the burner will change. So we just clean that, make sure that the rubbish is out, and then we should be good. As we can see here, there is a lot of dirt on the ignition here, on the ignition wires. So what you do, you take that out and give it a clean, because that's going to be squeaky clean, otherwise it's not working okay. It may fire here or whatever, instead of at the front. So it fires, but you can hear it starts really sluggish, and normally these burners, they start with really crispy, so you fire it up and it makes puff and it runs. But if it comes really slow, it's usually that the ignition spark is weak, and you got a lot of spark disappearing here on this, because that's carbon, so it's conductive. Alright, let me take that out, and we give it a clean. We'll be back. So here we can see another problem. There's a lot of dirt on the ignition wires. That needs cleaning. And this just opens. So 2 screws out, and then you can open it. So we take the ignition wires out and give them a good clean. Just make sure everything is clean, and then we know this is good. The normal problems are either ignition problems or nozzle dirty. That's the standard problems, apart from oil empty or other things which you don't have normally. Anyway, let me clean these spark wires, and obviously the ignition piece as well, or I can't, it's not a spark plug, it's an igniter, and then we'll come back. To get to the igniter, you need to wind the nozzle unit out, which is actually happening with this screw here. The problem is, if you don't have any gears to adjust the burner, you need to measure the distance here and turn it to the same position. Otherwise you're in trouble, because you're not going to get it to work. Sorry, I was talking bullshit. It's a slightly, again, I never worked on one of these. It's just an Allen bolt which sits at the back, and then you can take the igniter out, or can take the whole burner unit out. On some burners it has to do with the distance adjustment as well, but on this one that's just the air, so we leave that alone. It's that one here that takes that loosens the whole unit, so you can take it forward, and then you actually get to the front unit. So here we have the igniter. It sits on here, and then when you take the screw out, you can take it out. To get the nozzle out, you need a 16mm spanner here and a 17. I think it's a 17 on the nozzle. Just ripped my fingernail here. Yeah, this is dirty. It needs a good clean. You can use some solvent. Normally you can take these pins out here, but they're really rusty, so I'd rather not to. When you reassemble it, don't forget this silicone thing here underneath. Let me clean that, and we'll come back. So again, to get the nozzle out, you need a 16mm spanner here, and the nozzle is a 16 as well. I'm tempted to change it, but if I change it I need to reset everything, and I don't really want to, so I'll give it a try and just tighten it firmly. We cleaned the thing. Make sure you clean it in between as well, here in between, because there is a reason for these notches, because it makes the distance for the spark longer. So if it's dirty, the spark doesn't go here, it actually goes here, and we can see there were some signs of sparking along here. It's all clean now. So we put it back together, see if it works, and if it doesn't work, we're going to change the nozzle, which I don't really want to, because it's late in the day, and as usual these things happening when you're done your day work. And I was just coming from the workshop, and I noticed it's cold here, so it's a bit fiddly here, but that's how it is. Again, oil burners are pretty simple devices, and if you know one, you know pretty much anyone, because there are some fine details, yes, but essentially it's all the same. It's a nozzle, it's a fan, an oil pump. That's about it. Again, make sure this particular one has some silicone underneath. Make sure you set it properly. Make sure you set it right in the center of the nozzle. And yeah, remember how it was set before when you found it. So to make sure you're about the same as before. So we got it clean. I got some light here. We got it cleaned. The wires are fairly clean. We're gonna reset that. You can take it out if you wedge the pressure line out here. You can actually get it completely out, but you don't want that. So all we're gonna do is put that screw back on the back, this one here, and put it all back together and try it. So we're about to fire it up. I didn't put it fully in. So I can hear and see how it fires. Put the control unit back, push the button. And it fires. But not very nice. So what I'm adjusting here is the air, because I was messing around with it. It seems burning. Take it out a little bit. You can see it's burning. I don't know if that's visible here. Yeah. So it's doing something. But don't do this at home. It's got to be fully in, otherwise you're doing something here. It's running. What we need to do is we need to do at least a smoke check to see where we are. For that you need to put the bolts back in. So it's just getting these bolts back in. There are keyholes here, so you can twist it and get it out, but it's so tight here, it doesn't work with these flange nuts here. So let me get that back, and then we'll do the measurements. Well, it's working so far. The problem is I can't get the plug out. I can't get the plug out. It's this plug to do the measurements. I think there is so much dirt on the. It's just basically just a screw in a hole. There's no thread. It's just a plug basically, and I can't get it out. It's 10:30 p.m. here, and I'm tired. It's running okay. It fires good, and we're gonna do it tomorrow with some proper tools. I need to figure out what's going on there. Normally you just pull it out, but there might be some crud inside and you can't get it out.